What's poppin'? Welcome to episode 2 of Getting Better. You didn't think that I'd be back, but here I am. Today we're going to be playing against a Dogmatika player, and we're going to make a whole lot of mistakes. So yeah, it'll be a whole lot of fun. If you like the video, like the video. If you want to subscribe, subscribe. If you don't, that's okay. I still hope you have a wonderful day. With that, let's just hop in. And we're in game. Based on this guy's rating here, only 1208, only 6936 experience. I don't know how much he's really played Yu-Gi-Oh! Probably not that much, so I kind of decided to take it easy on him here. We are, for this game, at 631 rating and 2067 experience. So yeah, let's just go. We win the rock, paper, scissors, which is usually a good sign, but we also decide to brick. We open Nightmare, Black, Return, White, Veiler. He's got Punishment, Meltdown, Droll, Alistair, and Talents. So he's got straight gas here. Our hand is awkward. It's a hand that is a bit rare where it's actually really weak to Droll. This deck isn't usually super susceptible to Droll because we can just kind of get Tracer on board, and with Tracer we'll go, we'll just go into Ruler, and Ruler, if you didn't know, if Droll is active but you summon Ruler, you could still mill 5. Anyway, this hand, like we can tell, is pretty weak to Droll, which is lucky that he's one of the few people still main decking Droll. But anyway, we start off with a return, draw 2. Luckily we do draw the Tracer, which is a good card, but then he smacks us with that fat Droll. Here's the line that we take. So we just go Tracer, send Nightmare, send Wand, bring back Nightmare, go into Galatea, and then we just sit behind Crescendo plus Veiler and hope for the best. So an alternate line we could have gone for is, instead of just going straight into Galatea once we get the Nightmare on board, using Tracer to summon out Recharger and milling 5. I think it's another play that could have had a higher ceiling, but would have had a much lower floor, meaning there's a higher probability that we don't have Crescendo on board, but if, we hit godly mills, then we may have been in a better position. But overall, the Droll plus opening White, Black, and Router, it's just not ideal, really. So yeah, now it's his turn. For turn, he draws Fleur-de-Lis, which is a good card. If we don't activate the Crescendo on the effect to summon, he's just going to run over Galatea, and then this is turned off anyway. So I figure we may as well use the resource while it's live. And in my head, I'm thinking, okay, well, we know he has Alistair. We'll save the Veiler for that. So we Crescendo the Fleur, we Veiler the Alistair, and at first I'm thinking, okay, we're doing all right here. We are doing okay. And then he drops Talents. And at that point, I'm just, I kind of know we're cooked, but, and then on top of that, he draws a Talents and a Servant. If he didn't draw Servant, or, really specifically Servant, we would have been in a good spot, but he did, and that's okay. So there were actually kind of a lot of cards that he could have drawn to help him get out of this, but he goes Almirage, Gardna, and then drops the Servant, special summon Ecclesia, and yeah, he sends the Apcalone to add Schism, and yeah, again, we are just 100% cooked here. Yeah, gets the Maximus. Maximus kind of clears my board. And yeah, he's just gonna 100% out advantage me. We take our battle damage, and for turn, so yeah, sets Punishment, sets Schism, so he's got Winda plus sending one of my monsters and punishment. With this hand, there's just not really a way we can out it. Oh, and then he gets another effect to negate. So we're cooked. We draw Chaos Space for turn, which is 100% dead. What we do is attempt to activate it, and then realize again that we had everything in hand, and show him like, yeah, we're dead. We could have tried to play it out still. What we could have attempted to do, if he didn't have the Schism set, was, summon, let's say we summon out White Dragon, go into Striker, add Boot, activate Boot, special summon Tracer from Grave. But then, if he just schisms me there, or even if he waits until we go into like Savage or Ruler to schism me, we're just dead. We won't be able to get another monster on board big enough to out the window, and we'll die. Just be cooked. So we go into game number 2. This hand is also pretty interesting. At least we have a starter, and we've got an extender here. Opening Recharger isn't ideal, but at least we've got the Tracer too. And again, he has Droll, which isn't, like I said, isn't usually that strong against this deck, but with these couple weird hands it is. But so he Drolls us, which turns drawing Recharger into okay, into drawing Recharger being horrible. But it's okay. So we go into White Dragon, Tracer, into Ruler, and then we have the conversation. He says that I can't activate Ruler because of Droll, but the adding effect is, so yeah, it's like we excavate 5 cards, and if you do, you can add one excavated lighter dark. Since we can't add the lighter dark, so we basically just mill 5, which is sweet. So we come to that agreement there, and we get insane mills. So sending Girsu plus Nightmare is just absurd. And so yeah, we get to kind of pop off here. Nightmare send Symbol, Symbol bring back Girsu, Girsu send Wand, Wand bring back Nightmare. We go into Galatea, activate Gal effect. We get hit with Imperm, which hurts. It absolutely hurts. We go into Ding to attach, and we summon IP, and then we pass. And can anybody tell me why that's so bad? We have IP on board with literally nothing we can go into and no Babel. And that's just horrible. It's a huge oversight on my part here. And yeah, we could have at the very least summoned out Ruler so that we would have the ability to go into a Link 3, and then next turn, depending on what we banish, we could get a free draw with Chaos Space. So yeah, if we banish, say, Girsu plus White, next turn we can get a draw with Chaos Space and be in a really good position, but we don't. So he tops Lightning Storm, throws it down. Here's where I realized that I forgot Ruler. He says it's game, and we will see if it is. He activates Nadir, sends Apicalone, and adds Ecclesia. Summon out Ecclesia. And yeah, so he cited out the Schism. So that's good for us. We Valor, and again, oh sick. He gets to draw with Talents. Great draw, bad draw. Activates Terraforming. Add Meltdown. Meltdown, add Alistair. And that's just so that he can be more set up for next turn. Summon Maximus and use the effect. So we're going to send a couple cards. And then, so he activates the effect of Omega to send back the ruler, taking away resource, which, again, shouldn't have happened but we misplayed. And that's what this is for, to learn. We take 3k, and honestly, I'm feeling okay. I'm really feeling okay here. He's not going to have, or the only interruption he's going to have on my turn is the Fleur, which isn't that scary. And we've got Symbol, Ding, Gal, like we've got a whole loaded graveyard. Plus we're going to be able to get Boot to, summon out more cards. So we draw Symbol for turn. Recharger into Striker add Boot. We are going to think and think and think. Activate Boot. Boot, bring out Tracer. This should be in defense. I correct it a little bit later, but that should be in defense. Symbol on Gal. And then we use Gal effect, which I kind of feel like he should have negated personally. But, I mean, maybe he was just thinking we were going to get Babel and having the extra Ding wasn't that scary to him. But we do opt for the Crescendo. The reason why I opted for Crescendo was I figured I was going to be able to end with Ding on board. So if he summoned out the Fleur to try and beat over, we'd be able to protect with Ding, and then we just Crescendo his Alistair. So that was kind of my thought process there. That's the only way we're going to stop him from getting to Invocation. And I've got a light monster in Grave. So even if if he's able to get to Invocation, he's just going to be able to start that cycle of, reusing resources, and we're just going to end up getting outpaced in the long term. But anyway, we send Wand, bring back Nightmare. We turn those two into another Gal, into Dingirsu. Dingirsu's going to attach. And this is just to make sure our whole engine is still going. It's still loaded for next turn. So that's where I correct the Tracer misplay. So he says, oh, okay. We run over Maximus. We run over Galatea. Since Galatea was summoned, this Galatea was summoned from the graveyard and not from the extra deck, we are able to run it over. And yeah, we tell him to lose an extra 800. So the main thing that I think we could have or should have done different here is using Symbol to bring back Girsu, and then turning Girsu plus Tracer into a level 8 synchro. So either Savage or Ruler to really get us going, but actually Savage. We should have turned him into Savage so that we could get an extra negate. And then that would have actually used this Tracer, but again, we didn't, so it is what it is. And yeah, especially since we went into Galatea anyway, there wasn't really a point in using the Symbol on Galatea when we could have used it for an extra negate. So his turn, he draws Imperm, which is fine for us. So we Crescendo the Alistair, and that gets banished. He brings out another Maximus, which is fine. He sends two, a Omega and an Entis. And so we detach, and then he goes Fleur. And then, so you'll see, I ask if he chains it to Entis. And he says yes. I should have asked if he was, just to be 100%. Since Ding doesn't actually activate, should have asked if he was trying to chain to Ding, but Ding doesn't start a chain, but that's fine. So yep, we go ahead and attack over. Or he attacks over, and then he attacks with Maximus. What I think he should have done was summon out the Fleur first, and use Fleur to just negate the Dingirsu, and Fleur attack over Galatea. Because if he did it that way, I would have been forced to Crescendo. And then he could have main phase 2, summon the Alistair, and get the Alistair the Invoker engine running. But he did it this way. His rating suggests that he's probably a better player than me, so we're just going to take his word for it. Anyway, now it is our turn. Yeah, he sets the Imperm and goes, oh yeah, Omega on the Tracer, which is really strong. And we top Girsu, which is fine. It's like, it's a normal summon. It doesn't really make that big of a difference at this point. But yeah, so we summon out Girsu, or summon out the Recharger, symbol on Galatea effect, return wand. I personally think he should have negated the Galatea too. I think he should have negated it both turns. But again, 1208 rating. I'm sure he's better than me. Anyway, so here we go. Unicorn, activate Unicorn, try and shuffle away the Fleur. He imperms, that's fine. So that Nightmare a second ago was a misplay. We should have saved the Nightmare for after we summoned Girsu, so that the Girsu can attack over the Maximus, Zeroboros can attack over the Fleur, then he's left with no resources. But still Zeroboros attacks over. And then standby phase, we activate symbol on Ding effect to send the Maximus, and he taps out. Yeah, at that point, we were gonna just outpace him with our engine going. He top decked an Invocation, but without an Alistair in grave, he was just kind of dead. There were a few things that we could have done better. Again, that Girsu play wasn't ideal. We didn't use that Tracer on our second turn, but we did make it out alive, just barely. And then game 3. Game 3, we open about as strong of a hand as we could possibly imagine. Reborn, Space, Babel, Tracer, Dark Ruler. Like, this is borderline unbeatable. He opens Maximus, Imperm, Meltdown, Talents, and Schism, which is quite strong. Meltdown for Alistair, so he's going to end up with Alistair, Invocation, he's going to get Macabre, and then go straight into his Dogmatika play. So basically he has both engines, and yeah, really from the jump there wasn't really much we could do. We don't play this perfectly, but it was looking pretty bleak from the get-go. So yeah, and then we top deck Chaos Space. So with one monster, we have to play through Schism, Imperm, Fleur, and Winda, basically, and Macabre. So that is not really likely. If we would have topped another starter, honestly, it would have been possible, but because of the Dark Ruler, but yeah. So what we do is we summon the Tracer, and he activates Schism. Schism summon Winda. Winda send Tracer. Or Schism send Tracer. Which we kind of needed him to do so that we could activate the Dark Ruler and negate the Winda. And we activate Reborn. Summon out Striker. And he drops Fleur, and we concede. What would have probably been better is Chaos Space, using the Chaos Space, pitching Tracer. God, I don't know. I don't know if there was really anything we could do. Sometimes it just be like that. But that was embarrassing. So we made quite a few misplays. Hopefully you don't make the same ones. But anyway, thanks for checking it out. Again, if you like the video, like the video. If you want to subscribe, subscribe. Otherwise, that's okay too. I still hope you have a wonderful day. As always, I'll keep the deck list in the description box, so check that out if you want to see what Rokket Orcust list I'm playing right now. That's all I got. Have a wonderful day.